name is Arun Nayak. Continuing with the C++ hackering series, the next problem is attribute parser. Till now we have solved the easy kind of problem, but this is of the medium level. They have given here the problem description. It is about one markup language called HRML, which is similar to HTML, which is used in web designing. They have given how the HRML language structure will be. It will be similar to HTML, like there will be opening and closing tag. With each tag there will be one attribute. There will be several attributes, and those attributes will be having the respective values. So the attributes are referenced as tag name followed by a tilde symbol and value. If attributes are nested, like tag 1 inside that tag 2 inside that tag 3, we need to reference them as tag 1 dot tag 2 tilde name, where tag 2 is nested within the tag 1. So our challenge is, given the source code in HRML format, which is of n lines, we need to answer q number of queries. The query will be like given a tag tilde value, we need to return particular value located at that tag. For example, for this HRML code, we will be having this kind of query, where if the query is like tag 1 tilde value, we need to go to tag 1, we need to search for the attribute named value, and we need to fetch the value related to the attribute named value. The value here is the itself value, the answer is value, so we need to print it. If there is no such attribute is there, for example here tag 1 dot tag 2 dot tag 3, here there is no attribute named name in the tag 3, so we have to print not found. So this is about the problem to be solved. They have given the constraint as the number of lines will be between 1 and 20. The queries will also be between 1 and 20. Each line in the source program may contain at most 200 characters. So the same example is given here also. The first line will be number of elements, and for the second element will be number of queries we need to answer. Let us solve this one. We will take two integers to store the number of lines of source code and number of queries to be answered. After that, for this example, we need to store the tags in the form of key value pair. So whenever we need to store the key value pair, it is better to use the predefined map in the C++. Map is nothing but a data structure which stores elements in the form of key and value. For a particular key, value will be stored so that we can access that value using a key. So to define a map, first we need to include it in the source code, hash include map. So now we can access the map. The map is defined as keyword map followed by the key data type. Key data type will be string, as the tag will be string, attribute will be string. Also the attribute value will be string, so we will use string. We need to give one name of the map, we will give it tag map. We will use one function, create map user defined, which will allocate the tags present in the source code to the map. Create map with two parameters. One is n and another one will be string of the pre-tag. The pre-tag will be the tag to be evaluated. So in main function we will call this create map with value n. N we have taken the number of source code, and we will first pass the empty string because we do not know the actual tags to be. So we will start reading. First we will check if the number of lines are 0. We will check using not operator. If this code is for checking if the number of lines in the source code is 0. If it is 0, we need not to proceed further. We will just return, else we will start. First we will take some data type. We will take line for reading a particular line in the code. We will take one tag. We will take attribute, which is required for storing the attribute, and value, which is required to store the value of that attribute. We will read one line, one by one line. First line we will read through scene. We store it in the line. So this function might not be familiar to you. The getLine function is about from where the two parameters will be there. The first parameter is from where to read and where to store. The second parameter is where to store. It says that read the data from C and store it in the line. This is most popular when we want to use it for files. We will take one counter, like how many characters are there in a particular line. We will start with 1 because you can see here in each line this all these 4 lines where source code is there, first character is opening bracket, opening tag. So we do not need to read this because this is common. We just need to read the tag respective attribute and their value. We do not care about other things. So we will start with I equal to 1. The I equal to 0 will be the opening tag. So starting with that, if line of I is equal to, first we will evaluate for closing tag. If that is equal to, this character comes when there is a closing tag. If this is equal to closing tag, we will write one code, else we will write. This is for, you can see, closing tag. Whenever we encounter a closing tag, we need to perform different. Whenever we encounter an opening tag, we need to do the operation different. First we will do for opening tag here, while line of I means the second of in character present at index 1, because I equal to 1 is not equal to the empty is not equal to space, and the character is not equal to um, closing tag, we will whenever the character is not equal to space, and whenever the uh, until the closing tag is not encountered, we will increment. So why this is necessary? Because you can see here we are just reading this value tag 1. Whenever there is a opening tag, we will just read this tag 1, and if the space is encountered like this here, tag 1 and value between there is a space encountered, till that we will loop over here, and we will count that numbers and store it in I. Why this I is necessary? Because we need to store the tag name in the map so that we can answer the queries. The tag will be the line. To extract that tag name, we will use the substring. The substring takes two parameters, starting and number of characters to be read. So we will give from 1. We will read till I minus 1. So the substring function will read from position 1 till I minus 1 and store that number of the set of string into a tag. Then whatever pre-tag we have here, the function argument, we will evaluate now. If that pre-tag is not equal to if it is not equal to empty string, means if it contains any characters, then we will update the tag with pre-tag plus followed by a dot plus tag. Why this is necessary? Because you can see here, whenever we encounter a nested tag, we are using a dot operator. So if we want to access this tag 2, we will go first with tag 1 dot tag 2. So the pre-tag will be the parent tag followed by the dot, and whatever tag we have found out at present will be stored in tag. Next, we will use one j variable, because now we want to access the attribute. We have accessed the tag, we will access the attribute and the respective value int j, while line of I is not equal to, means until we have encountered the closing tag, we will just iterate over it and start the j with the, so the prefix increment is necessary, because the j value will be now pointing to this. For this line, j value will be here, character v. I value will be pointing to this space, j value will be here pointing to v. Now we will read the substring. Before reading substring, we will use again one for loop, one while loop, so that we can read till next space is encountered. Until next space is encountered means until the equal to operator is encountered. Until this equal to operator is encountered, we will read this attribute name. For that, we are incrementing the value of I, so that we can get from where to where we need to take the substring. Now we can add the attribute value here. Attribute equal to line dot substring with starting from j with I minus j. So this substring will return the attribute name. For example, here the value. So the value is, this value will now be stored in this attribute. After storing the attribute, we need to proceed further to fetch the value. So again we will use while loop. While this line of I is not equal to, until we encounter this double quote, we need to move ahead because this equal to doesn't matter. Until this, for that we will use, whenever we want to compare the double quote, we need to use backslash followed by double quote, because the double quote is reserved character in the C or C++. We need to use backslash followed by double quotes to compare it. We will increment the value of I. So this I will now be pointing to the attributes value. For example, now the I will be pointing to this double quote. We will move the j to one more step, that is, we will make the j to point this character h. So we will use the post increment. J we will use with post increment of I. Now we will move the I till the end of the attribute, means till the end of the value, means another double quote. We will move the I till we encounter the second double quote, that is the end of the value. We will move the value I value till this. We can say I counter move. We will move till this double quote. We can do it using same for loop logic. While line of I not equal to till we not encounter the double quote, we will keep on incrementing the I value. So now we have successfully got j over here and I over here. So whatever there is in between I and j is the value of this attribute values. So we will get the value now. Just use the substring method. Substring method starting with j till fetch num I minus j characters. we will increment I, because we need to check in this while loop. We need to check till the end of the um, closing tag is encountered. So for that, at each iteration we increment the I, because the I stopped at this position, the double quote for after the D. Whenever we encounter it, it comes over here for this character, and as soon as it encounters this closing tag, it ends and moves to the next line. So after doing this, now we need to add this whatever we have explored into our map, tag map. Our name of map is tag map. How to add a record? We need to add the tag followed by everything is string over, so I'm concatenating the string followed by the tilde, because the queries will be in the form of tilde, followed by the attribute name. We have stored the attribute here using substring method, followed by this is key for the map, and for this key we need to store the respective value. The value is stored in the variable value. So this line of code will execute and store the respective tags attribute with their values in the map. We can use this map to access our to answer our queries. Now we will look at how to deal whenever we encounter the closing tag. So whenever we encounter a closing tag, we will iterate over it from, because we are starting with the index 1, we are not considering this one. We have already considered this. We use for checking if it is a closing tag. So until we encounter the closing tag, for that we can use not equal to, while line of I not equal to closing tag, we will keep on incrementing the I, so that we can take the I till the end of the loop, end of the tag. Then we will evaluate this pre-tag. Why we are using pre-tag is, the create map function we are designing in the form of recursive function. We will use the recursive function later. So the pre-tag will change every time. So we need to evaluate the pre-tag, which is a parent tag, we can say, every time. If the size of the pre-tag is size of the pre-tag is I minus 2, less than I minus 2. I is the number of characters in that line, minus 2 means it will give the value of the pre-tag. It will give the value of the tag. If it is less than if it is greater than I minus 2, we need to update the tag. How we will see here? We will update the tag as substring of pre-tag from 0 till that pre-tag's size minus I plus 1. This line will fetch the substring of the pre-tag. For example, the pre-tag is tag 1. It will fetch from 0 till pre-tag size. Pre-tag size will be the number of characters in that string minus I plus 1. If this is not the case, we will just have one empty string in the tag. Why we are doing this? Because at each iteration we will call this as a recursive function. We will call this same function after the end with n, decrementing the n. We will pre-decrement it followed by the string. The string here will be nothing but the tag we have found. Whatever tag we will found, we will call the recursive function till we reach this tag, till we reach the end of that tag. For example, if we found tag 1, we will recursively call tag 1 as a pre-tag for that. While evaluating for tag 1, we will again found the tag 2. We will evaluate till we found the end of tag 2, and so on. This recursive function will make sure that until we solve the queries related to parent tag, that is tag 1, we will be solving all the intermediate tags. Any number of tags which come in between the tag 1 will be resolved. So this function, yeah, it completes for closing tag. Now we will here answer the queries. To answer the queries, we will take to string attribute value. We need to just iterate over the queries till we reach end of the queries. We have read the queue as a number of queries till it becomes 0, means till we evaluate all the queries. We will use again get line with the cin, the reading and storing them in attribute. We will first read the attribute as an input. You can see here the tag1 dot tag2 is the attribute, followed by the tilde symbol. The tag1 dot tag2 will be the tag name, followed by the tilde symbol and the name. We will read the entire line and we will search in the map. For searching, we will use one value we have already declared it, tag map. Whenever we want to get the records from the tag map, we just pass the attribute in the square brackets. So this code will pass the tag1 dot tag2 tilde name into a map, and map will, we have already stored all the tags in the map. The map will iterate over tag1 and then tag2 and then the attribute name and find out the correct value stored in that tag. So if in case the value is null, because if there is also a test case when there will not be a such tag found, so we need to print not found there. Whenever the value will be empty, we will update the value as not found. Now we will just print the value. We will run it. So there is an exception thrown out of range. This is because there might be some buffer related to the scene. We will just use the scene dot ignore and try. Yes, the sample test case have been passed. So what was the error is that after reading the n and q, the numbers will be stored in the standard input buffer cin, or we can say input stream. So there might be some problem when we want to call the create map function, and here we are again reading the values. Here we are again reading from getLine using getLine function. So it may be causing uh, abnormal behavior. So in that case, just use the cin.ignore. It will clean up the input stream. We will submit it for evaluation. Yes, the code is correct. Thank you.